Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and today in Warframe, we're going to take a look at the new Warframe Jade, her ability preview, her ability showcase, and everything like that. Let's take a look at the dev stream with your boy, Pablo. He gives about a 4-minute explanation, talk about Jade's abilities and everything. So let's take a look, watch it, and then learn.
Hello. I'm here to show you Jade, our latest Warframe, and what she is all about.
So this is Jade, the newest Warframe. As you can see, even with like it being, a little pixely and all that. Oh, there we go. It's because it had to actually update. We did it. Yeah, she looks a lot better now. She is the first biblically accurate, like fully looking angel. She's essentially a seraphim. Seraphim? Nephilim? Seraphim.
Yeah, yes. She is. Look at her. So what she's about? She's a support frame. She has protection for allies. She has debuffs against enemies. And then she packs a punch with her fourth.
So she buffs y'all, shields, damage reduction, damage to enemies, right? Damage.
So let's start with her passive. Her passive has two parts. The first part, I'm probably going to show an image.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about this. People are freaking out about 2 aura mod slots. Wow, okay. 2 aura mod slots will be really good and really cool. I don't think it's going to be like game breaking or game changing. I just think it'll be really nice for people to throw on random things like corrosive projection and energy siphon. Maybe they'll throw on some melee like heat charge. Oh god, I can't remember what the melee damage one is. Maybe they'll throw on like their rifle amp. Like, you never know, but hey, I think it's pretty cool.
Is that she has 2 mod slots that are dedicated to auras. So basically you can put any 2 auras that you want. You can just throw them in there. Both of them increase the capacity, so obviously she's kind of easier to build because of that. They affect
okay. I was actually not sure. They do both increase capacity. So she is going to be a Warframe that only will maybe require 1 Forma for a lot of people, depending. Maybe 2 Forma. Because these are pre-forma'd. So you can throw anything on there and it'll give you a lot. And then you just throw a Shark Fang and it'll give you a lot. And then you're good.
Allies and enemies.
No, that's awesome.
Just like any aura would. The other part of her passive is that her 1 and her 4th apply a debuff to enemies they hit. Her first ability creates this.
Okay, so her 1 and 4 just debuff the enemy no matter what. Okay, seems good. Like just by default as a word, seems good.
Here, and as you can see, that's where that is. And while I'm inside the zone, you can see in the upper right, I have that little indicator there. That means that I'm taking healing over time as long as I'm...
Oh, sick. So she just heals. So it said judgment 5%. Maybe that's like a 5% heal a second then?
Inside. And when I leave, you can see it now goes from infinite duration to a set duration, similar to how it works with Wisp and her motes. Essentially, while you're in the area, they last forever once you get out.
So you have little Healy debuffy damagey motes.
And you can have up to 3 of these zones.
Oh, it's her first ability. So as you can see in the bottom right, it like toggles 1, 2, 3. That one's a buff, that one looks shieldy, and that one looks damagey. So this one's heal, damage, and shield?
And for enemies, when you throw it to them, basically it'll deal damage over time, and it will mark them with your passive.
Okay, no, it just deals damage. Okay, that's good.
Which is what I was talking about earlier.
And that's the debuff of your passive. Still, okay, that's good. Good stuff.
Basically increases how much damage they take from all sources. For her second ability, she...
Oh, so the debuff is just straight up damage increase, so it's good. It's like no matter what, good. So your first ability is some heals, some slight damage, and debuff on enemies.
It has 3 different auras that you can select from, so if I activate it here, you can see...
Okay, wait, her second ability was the 3 things, not her first. Okay, this makes more sense now. No, her first ability is heals, damage to enemies, and it gives a passive debuff. So damage increase as well. Okay, so she is a good support frame just off that.
Shield effectiveness, and you can see my overshields are growing until they reach the cap. Now, if I can switch...
It's going down, so I assume that's like get kills.
My aura without having to recast, so it costs me no energy. So I just switched to this one, which...
So that's awesome. No, that's just sweet. You don't have to actually recast it every single time you swap. That's the word. That's a nice QOL increase. I imagine a lot of people will keep it on squad's ability strength increase. They'll probably just keep it on that, but who knows.
Increases my ability strength. And as you can see, I actually kept the overshield, so you can actually kind of do some strategery.
Yeah, you can. Okay, so you can swap around, keep the buff.
Also, you can do the same with this power strength one, because you can, for example, right now you could cast her 3 or her 4th or her 1 which will snapshot the power strength that she has right now. And then after that, you can switch to the other aura, which is weapon damage increase for the squad. So
that's cool. So you have defenses, shields increase, and regen. You have ability strength, and then you have squad weapon damage. I think ability strength and shield are the better ones, but that's okay.
You are kind of incentivized to swap around the auras as you need them. Again, it costs you no energy to swap the aura.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's a good ability for sure.
For her third ability, any enemy that's...
So does it just go down over time, or did he say that it builds off kills? I didn't catch that.
For her second ability, she has 3 different auras that you can select from. So if I activate it here, you can see I get squad shield effectiveness, and you can see my overshields are growing until they reach the cap.
Oh, actually, that's probably just the cooldown timer on that. Okay, no, that's cool then. 60 seconds, not bad.
The power strength that she has right now.
Yeah, because it's not the amount that's decreasing. That's just duration. Okay, I was being dumb for some reason. Okay, cool. 60-second duration seems good.
Gets slowed down. For her third ability, any enemy that's on her sight gets slowed down and gets their armor removed. So you can see...
Oh, armor shred and slow gaze. That's actually really sick.
Now are moving quite slowly, and their armor is now gone.
I'm assuming this is a no mod build, because they Pablo showed off no mods, right? So I'm assuming this is a no mod build, where it's just like, this is what base Warframe does, and you can mod it more. Maybe they have, maybe they do have mods on, or maybe it just has a ton of energy.
Basically, at the mercy of my gaze.
Either way, gaze OP.
For the part of this ability, we have this. You can see Mark is over there. He died. He's one of the designers working in Jade. And I can just use my third ability and...
Okay, so your third ability revives.
Just by looking at them. It's my
That's good.
very powerful sight.
Teamwork.
And finally, she takes flight.
Okay, so this is where I'm like, she is a B-52 bomber right there. She is another Zephyr, like, floaty Titania type frame in that regard. So I love it. It seems to be faster default use than Zephyr. Zephyr goes really fast in one direction at a time, but slowly hovers everywhere else. Whereas it looks like Jade will just fly pretty quickly everywhere. So more like Titania.
Hildren, but way faster.
Not super fast, but good.
She can move.
Oh yeah, like a higher in the air Hildren.
This is actually an exalted weapon, so you can just shoot enemies with it.
Ooh, it's an exalted. Dude, that's sick. She actually turns into a B-52 bomber.
Or you can mark them
B-52
with your one, and then you can use your outfire.
Holy shit!
For ludicrous amounts of damage.
Mark them and kill them, boy.
As you can see, with her 4, she does pack quite a bit.
You essentially always have your 2 and your 3 and your 1 on. That's how you seem to play her. Because why wouldn't you, right? You'll always, because they're on cooldown, so you'll always want to have your damage reduction ability thrown out there. You'll always want to have your buff out there. You'll always want to have your gaze armor shred out there. It only makes sense, right? So she is a Warframe where you probably won't want to swap out a ton of her abilities. If you do, maybe swap out the buffing one if you don't really like that. Maybe swap out her Exalted 4 if you're not looking for an Exalted weapon type of setup. But I do think her overall kit is really good and doesn't need helmeting whatsoever. I think a lot of Warframes that are older benefit a lot more from helmeting compared to newer Warframes. Because I think nowadays they build a kit to synergize a lot better than they used to. And they have like a lot more tools at their disposal for that. Like they have better abilities, stronger abilities, abilities that rely on each other like Varuna, right? So they've just gotten better at making a full proper kit for a lot of Warframes. So I don't think I'd really want to helmet off a lot of her abilities. I could see people helmeting off like the first as well, though. Who knows? Depending on how they want to play her.
So that's it for Jade. To recap, her passive has 2 parts. 1 is she has 2 aura mod slots. 2 is her 1 and her 4th apply a debuff.
1 and 4th is damage increased to enemies. Is so sick. That's like such a good debuff.
Debuff to enemies makes them take extra damage. Then her first ability is a large zone that she can create that deals damage over time and applies that passive to either enemies or allies. Her second ability has 3 different auras that you can cycle through.
She has everything.
One is power strength, the other is
pretty
weapon
cool.
damage. The
cool new wisp.
Boost shields. The
cool new
third
wisp.
ability is anything you
it's
look
Pablo.
at
Where's
gets
Pablo?
slowed down, armor stripped, shield
Thanks,
stripped.
Pablo.
And if there's a falling ally, you can revive them just by looking at them. And finally, her 4th, you take flight.
You become a B-52 bomber. And just blow everything up.
Damage with your exalted weapon, and with your outfire you can detonate any enemies that are already marked by your passive.
True.
And that's it I hope you're excited to try her out. I'm excited to get her in your hands very soon. Back to the couch with the dev stream peeps. Adios.
Okay, so that was the Jade preview from the dev stream. Pablo giving the good TLDR of the entirety of Jade and her abilities. She seems to work pretty well. There's more we can take a look at in regards to Jade, okay? And that is the Warframe.com news Jade Shadow post. So if you're curious, you can take a look at the main Warframe website, and they do have their entire like post up for this. We eat on some music in the background. So it's overall, I'd say, not that bad. And I'm quite happy with how Jade interacts and looks right now. Evoking the solemn yet melodic hymns of a choir, the newest Warframe sings songs of devastation, as she heralds both life and death across the Origin system's many battlefields. Bless allies and damn enemies with a powerful suite of abilities that includes the punishing fury of the Jade Light itself. Her abilities sound pretty cool, right? You have Light's Judgment, Symphony of Mercy, Ophanim's Eyes, and Glory on High. So she is like an actual biblically accurate angel, it looks like. Passive, the Anointed. Jade's profound understanding of the relationship between life and death grants her 2 aura mod slots. Because she's an angel, a biblically accurate angel. Oh, pretty much. Right, her first ability, we'll just go over them quickly again. Create a well of light that heals allies and hurts enemies. Those who enter the well will be surrounded by judgments, aka your passive where the enemies take more damage. It just like sounds like a flat another multiplier. Damage increase. Symphony of Mercy. So your base increase, ability power 30%, weapon damage 100%, and then increase shield regeneration by 25%, and extend the duration of each song by killing enemies surrounded by blessings. Okay, so you increase the cooldown to have pretty much max cooldown reduction forever by just killing enemies that are getting hit with your passive 1/4. Sweet. Jade summons an accusatory gaze that slows nearby enemies and dissolves their armor. When the gaze falls upon allies, they can be revived from a distance. Notice how the only one that has like numbers is this one? It's probably because these ones, they're still like workshopping how strong or how weak it has to be. But for this one, they're like, no, we can pretty solidly give down a passive increase amount. Like they usually give, okay, ability strength increase about the same as like Roar Helminth, I think, something like that. Increase weapon damage, okay, maybe make it a little weaker than Eclipse because Eclipse is less team oriented. The shield thing, okay, make it like a good shield regen, but not incredibly OP. So it's a good buff, but it's not like this is game ending or breaking. Obviously, the ability strength one will be strongest for most scenarios, but the Deathbringer is also really good. Maybe go Helminth thing with Jade, she can buff everyone a ton, so hey. Or Helminth thing. Eidolon hunting, whatever you feel like doing. Should be a nice Eidolon hunt frame. Or any boss frame. She just seems like a good support frame. And then your Glory on High is you fly around like an angel would, and or like Zephyr. Nuking the enemies, bombing them, being a B-52 bomber, giving them the glory of death. Sweet, sweet release of death. There's a lot more to check out, and I'm gonna probably make some more videos here and there talking about it. But the other thing is the Jade collection. If you end up buying Jade, has the Signa, Canter, Evensong, Harmony. These are the weapons, right? Jade the Warframe, this is the ult helmet, and that's the Signa right there. So if you like or hate the Signa, let me know, because that's what it looks like right there, just in case you were wondering. Jade looks cool too. It looks like she has like a little mouth here. Yeah. So that's that. Judge it how you will. And that's our first preview of the Warframe Jade for now, and a good TLDR on her abilities. So yeah, let me know what you think. I think her like ability setup's good. I like her, so I'll play her for sure. I'll probably like her more than Corvex, but that new Corvex augment mod's looking juicy, so who knows? Let me know what you think. Sub, like, check out Pupsker Gotcha, my second YouTube channel. Finally unlocked a partnership on that and everything, so cool. You can always use the Epic Games creator code Pupsker if you ever buy anything on Warframe, Epic Games Store, anything like that. It helps out, like Fortnite skins, Warframe skins, or anything else on the Epic Games Store. So appreciate it, and we'll continue on with more Warframing. Cheers.